Hello, everybody. How's it going? We're back for another lesson today, and I hope you're enjoying what we've been doing in the past. We're just going to keep building, and we've got something for everybody, but we are being involved with the basics for a good bit of the past 2 months. A little bit of advanced stuff here and there. More of it will be coming in the future. So we're going to get into a new chord today, and it is called the C9 chord. Used a lot in blues, and a lot in the 1-4-5 progression, a lot in rock. So we've been talking a lot about A, the key of A, and 1-4-5 and A, but just because we want to be kind of like, I'm not going to say it's an open position, but if we go with the C9 chord, we're down here pretty much where you've been learning a lot of the open chords that we talked about earlier. And one of the last ones that we did was the C7, if you recall. And that basically was a C chord that adds that B flat in it. Instead of B in the C major scale, you go to B flat, or B flat right here. So that chord has a C, it has the E, which is the third. It has the B flat, which is that flat 7, has another C here, and then this E up top gives you your C7. Don't want to play the low E. Remember, you don't need all 6 strings all the time. So you're going to start on the A note when you play that C7 and the C9. Now, where does the 9 come from? You know, we've talked about in the past, your C scale. C. And they all have numbers, correct? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then it starts to repeat. Or there's something called a 9th. There's something called an 11th. There's something called a 13. Okay? So if we're up to your 7 is your B, correct? And we are going to have that in the C9 because it is part of the chord, that flatted B to B flat. But we need to go up to C again, which becomes 8. And then what would be after that? We're just repeating. So we're going to, after C is D. So that becomes the note, or the 9th note, or what's considered the 9. Now, when you're doing the actual major scale, D is the second note you come to. Well, guess what? There is something called C suspended second and C sus 4. We will get to that in another lesson. For right now, we're going up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay? So, we're going to not utilize the C with our ring finger, and we're going to actually, like we cover 3 notes when we play an A, well, right now we're going to keep the beginning of the C, but we're going to utilize these fingers for the C note and the E note. And the rest of the strings are going to be pressed down on the 3rd fret. You're going to have that B flat, that flat 7. You're going to have that D now, which is the 9. And then you can put that G in there, okay? Because the G, C, D, E, F, G is the 5, okay? Now, you might be thinking, well, wait a second. There's no G in C7th. Where did it go? Well, there's certain, permutations of chords where maybe the 5 will be left out, and you still really do have the C7th. It still has the tonality of that 7th. If I play, say, C7 up here off of the bar chord shape and just use this, the 4 strings here, I've got B flat, I've got E, I've got the G, and the C. all four of them are there. So you can do C7 with the 5, or you can leave that out. We are going to have it in on that E string, the G, right here. Hear that? So you got 7, and now you got the 9, because you got that D in there. And if you don't want to play the top E string note, the G, sounds pretty good. You don't have to. You can still do C9 with leaving that note off. Again, we're not hitting the E string. Listen what would happen if we did. Dissonant. Outside. Not what you want to have. And so this is used like, in the 1-4-5 that we were doing in A, instead of utilizing, if you're doing the 7th, bar chords, you can add that 9 in there instead of the C7th, or instead of going up to your bar chords to play the 1-4-5 progression, okay? Now, I'm using it somewhat in a Eric Clapton song called Further Up the Road, something like this. In G, C9, D9, C9, 10th fret, G9. D9, C9. G9. Another thing that is a cool jam that you could put down on a looper and maybe just jam in A with 2 chords, A7 and D9, and just maybe play, either your A minor pentatonic or A major over these chords. D9. A9, D9, A9, D9, A9, D9. Now, if you've been working on the progressions in A, we'll just move it up for a second. E9, and you can do that low E. Rock on, all you up-and-coming guitarists. Ask your questions. Keep coming back. Tell your friends at Steve Topel 9783. See you next time.